I'm going to give you a little bit of an update on a few things. So talk through just a few things that have changed in SBS, talk through industry challenges. Dennis has already talked about some of those, talk through some initiatives, what we're doing to respond to those, and then wrap up with a conclusion. Before I start, the embracing change together, I think, is really a very important concept. I think change is not easy. It's here. We really don't have a choice but to embrace it. And I think for SBS, it's a great culture. I think Dennis and company have done a great job of growing up the business and having it be focused on customers, having it be focused on good technical solutions. And so we want to make sure we don't lose that. I think I couldn't be more aligned with Dennis in terms of we want to keep the culture and the attitude. We've got a lot of really smart, capable, hardworking, humble people. And that's who we want to be now. That's who we want to be next year and beyond. And so I think as we grow, we have to figure out how to keep that. When you look at SBS, now some of you have been here for 10 years, and so you've probably seen some of this before, others not. So I'll just walk through this, kind of zigzag up and down and across. But the company was founded in 2002, and we've always had a strong track record of growth. And so when you look at what we've done through the years, it's been a lot of services migrating into products. And when you look at us today, we believe we're the benchmark for industry products in this space. We think we've got the best products, and we're working hard to make sure we keep that. It is a standard product platform, lots of flexibility when it comes to configuration, but part of our business is to make sure that, when it comes to upgrades, when it comes to things like that, it's not hard to do because we do have a standard platform approach. We're customer centric. That's who we have been. That's who we want to be going forward, and we're going to work hard to stay that way. Today we have about 140 customers. It's growing. But with those customers, we encourage all of them to talk to each other, and so this session it's a great opportunity for that. And if there's anything we can do to facilitate that, please let us know. Today we have about 70 employees, and that's up about 15 to 20% over last year. So we're adding some people, but we're targeting to add the right people at the right time at the right place, and some of the investment that Peak Rock has made is helping us do that, to help us grow and grow well. And we do have a 95% employee retention, which I think from the perspective of we want to be a preferred employer. And so we've been able to keep our employees. We believe we've got the best employees, and we're really excited to try to maintain that as we go forward. Now this is an eye chart, but I want to talk through, this represents the leadership of SBS. And so let's start on the top right is the legend. And you've got three colors. So there's light blue, which it's people who have been here a while and are doing the same thing that they've been doing for a while. The dark blue, it's people who've been here a while, but they're doing something new. And then there's the green boxes. So I'm one of the green boxes. Matt Jordan, our VP of Sales, is one of the green boxes. But the rest of the boxes are all blue. And so you see a lot of dark blue. So people are changing some of the things they're doing. So let's walk through that. On the left, you've really got the executive team, and I'm the second box down, so I'm coming in as president. So my job is to run the day-to-day, to take care of customers, to make sure products are being developed, to do all the things that the business needs to help sign contracts and so forth. Dennis above and Pat below have changed roles a bit partly because I'm taking some of that responsibility. And so you look at Dennis, he's focused on the strategy, the long-term future, to make sure we can be who we are today into the future as we grow, as we double in size. And so he's really taken a strategic focus, which I think he's always done, but at the same time, now he has a lot more time to do it better and to position us. Pat's been the jack of all trades forever, and he's was the busiest guy, and now he's taken on some new things like some of the international stuff. but he's focused a lot more on AUD to make sure that product is really ready for the growth that we've seen. And so he's still the busiest guy, but some of the stuff that he used to do in the day-to-day, I'm now doing. And then below him, you've got, Andy Street. Andy is, he's a pretty self-deprecating guy, but he's a genius who's been doing for a long time a lot of conversions, a lot of data analysis, and really writing some of the core code for our products. And so he's still doing that. And below him is Ben, our CFO. And so we're keeping track of the pennies and the dollars, and Ben does that. When you move into the center section, this is really the rest of the leadership team at SBS. And so the first column on the left, you've got Sergey. Sergey is focused a lot more. He's our Chief Technology Officer. So he's focused on our products. He's focused on solutioning for your designs when we do projects. And he's building a team under him to help grow that capability, because more and more we have to make sure we have more people that can do what Sergey has done in the past, and he's building a team to do that. Below him, Trevor Scullion. Trevor's not here. If you know Trevor, he's a bit of a mad scientist, and we leverage that. He's done a lot of work this year on machine learning and AI programs. So as we start to think about generative designs and things like that, Trevor leads that, and he works for Sergey. Below that is Jim Lucas. So Jim has been around a long time, but he is now focused on our solution marketing group and building a team under him. So focused a lot on products to make sure our products are at the right place at the right time. That involves getting input from you. It involves getting input from our subject matter experts and quarterbacking the product, almost the product management function. He also spends a lot of time with you to listen to your use cases, understand where you're going, and so he's been a great help to help guide our whole product strategy. Below that's Joey Baker. Joey really is doing what Pat's doing for AUD, Joey's doing for the substation world. So taking care of that business to everything from the products, but also just the projects and responding to customers. So Joey leads that business for us. Below that's Matt Jordan in green. That's he's our VP of Sales. So as we support new opportunities, Matt works with everybody on this page to make sure we got the right solutions, we're proposing the right things for new opportunities. Middle column, you've got Aaron Schmidt, who most of you probably know. He's our leader of all delivery, and so he's been doing that for a while. Does a great job. He keeps us all on the straight and narrow from when we win a project. He makes sure it gets delivered on time, and he works with the partners to do that. Below him is Marty Palma. Marty is used to work in QA, and Marty has stepped up and is taking care of our software development function. And really, Marty makes sure that we have a roadmap for delivery on the software side, and he makes sure that we hit those schedules, and he's built an organization to help organize that and deliver that. Sarah Jones, most of you know Sarah. She's our technical deliveries owner, and so she's helping a lot with actually our training now. She's helping a lot with defining how we do projects, and so it's been great to have her step up and take a leadership role in that. Dave Wilbur's below her, and Dave really drives the software. He's our software design specialist for the world of AUD and our platforms, and so Dave really leads our technical software function and does a great job. Robert Haskett runs our IT and cybersecurity. With cybersecurity, obviously, it's a bigger deal for everybody, but Robert does a great job with that. And then on the right, we've got Jennifer Ray. Jennifer's here. Most of us work for Jennifer most days. She keeps us working on the right thing at the right time. And then we've got Ryan Kaufman, we've pulled him out as we've got a lot of initiatives. We want to make sure we're measuring progress against those initiatives, and so Ryan is helping us with that. So when you step back, that's a lot of dark blue boxes. On the good side, they're blue, so it's the same people you're used to, the same faces. but we are working to change. And so it's a bit hard at times. At the same time, we're making the investments so that as we grow well. So switching gears, I want to talk just a little bit about industry challenges. Dennis talked about some of the things that he sees. I think it's the same things you see. I'm just going to reiterate some of those. And I think it's good for us to talk about that because, you know, what we do is challenging. What you guys do is challenging. And sometimes it's good just to recognize things are hard. So when you look at the world of acronyms, I'm not a big buzzword guy. I actually don't like buzzwords. I really like the one called RUPT. So we live in a RUPT environment. What does that mean? RUPT. It's an acronym that's been bouncing around for a while, but you know, I think it really fits the utility industry and the world that you live in, the world that we live in. You know, R is for rapid, and the rate of change is speeding up. It's like we're on a highway and the miles per hour is getting higher every year and we can't get off the highway. It's just things are moving a lot faster, you know, all day, every day. Unpredictable. There's, I think, a good planning process at all the utilities at SBS, but I think we have to be a lot more flexible because there are a lot of things that are changing. I was at San Diego a couple weeks ago and they were talking about Rule 45. I think it's 45 or 43, but when somebody signs up for a new EV at their residence, they have so many days, there's a clock that starts ticking that they have to get that installed, and it's hard. So they had a plan, all of a sudden Rule 45 comes along, and they've got to rejuggle the plan because things are different. And I think that happens time and time again in all of our lives in this space. Paradoxical, you know, when you look at the short-term things we have to do to respond to storms, when I say we, I mean you, really. You've got to respond to storms. You've got to get the things built that you've got to get built. And then there's a long-term plan on carbon reduction, and it's hard to do both. Sometimes they conflict. To get all the work done, it's not easy. And then last is my favorite, the word tangled. When you look at tangled, all our systems connect. All our systems talk to each other. But more and more, those ecosystems of the asset management system, of the ERP system, of your GIS, those are ecosystems that live in their own world and live on their own schedule. And connecting them, it's not simple. And so it ends up being a bit of a tangled mess. And that's complex, it's challenging, and it's not going away. So we've got to recognize that complexity and we've got to deal with it head on. So summarizing this, there's a couple of great quotes. The Midwest ISO CEO made a great quote that a number of folks in the industry have been glomming onto, and she basically said the rate of change in the industry, in the utility industry, has never been faster, and it will never be slower than it is today. So it's just the train is moving faster and faster. And then there was a survey that Ernst & Young did that basically they talked to execs, what do you need to succeed? And they said, well, we've got to invest in technology and we've got to invest in our people. And so SBS represents a piece of the technology. You all represent the people. And together we have to figure out how to deal with this massive change that is before us. So, sorry, that's kind of a whirlwind, but so what are we going to do? What is SBS doing to respond to those things? The first is, you know, if you go back to the 80s, some of you are old enough to be aware of the 80s, the Burger King commercials were, you can have it your way. And to a certain extent, our projects, the way we sold things was you can have it your way. And you still can, but more and more, we are moving from a standard platform where we can say you can have it your way. We're moving to the right, where we're walking in with standard templates and say, here's what we recommend. And the reason we're trying to do that is, you know, the number of options you can select and configure, if we can narrow that, we can test better, we can shorten our implementation time. Both will help both of us. And so, We still, you can have it your way. You can still get the burger without the onions, but we also are going to walk in and say, here's what we recommend more and more. And so I think you can see that change coming on your projects, and we think it'll help. Talking about investment, we're doing a lot to invest in things that will help us deploy things faster, help our partners deploy faster, help customers deploy faster. And so things like the tools you use, whether it's we've got a new product called the admin toolkit, which is taking over from Smart Tools. We were investing in training. We've got a partner, Imagine It. They're going to talk about how we're working with them on training. And, they've just got a great platform. It makes our training material more effective, and they're really helping. So we've made that investment. We spent a lot of time working with them. We've got things like wikis that we're testing internally. We're going to pass those on to our partners and customers over time. And just the whole release note process. So these on their own, individually, they help. Together, they're going to make a big difference. And so I think in a year from now, I think you're going to feel it's easier to implement our systems because of these tools. And so as we bring them on board, I think you'll see a big difference. Another thing, and this is probably the biggest thing, we're investing in the partner ecosystem. So we're partnering with our partners to help them develop capabilities so that they can do what we can do. And so our goal is to expand the pool. We're not getting away from projects. Our project staff is only growing, and it will only continue to grow. On the other hand, we can't do all the work that customers ask us to do. We just can't. And so our goal is to help make it easier for partners to work on our products and deploy those. Our goal is also to help train and qualify and have systems in place that prepare and help partners be successful. So the process is, we want to be involved. Our mental model for doing projects is we're in the same boat as customers. We're rowing. It's easiest we row together. Sometimes it feels like we're maybe rowing in different directions. In the end, we only get to the end, the shore together. And if we work well together, we get there a lot faster. That model is changing today, where often there's a third party in the boat. It's the partners who are helping you implement and helping us help you implement. And so it's the three of us are now on the boat, and we all have to work and row together. And our processes, we're trying to make those processes fit that model. And so there's some things like we want to make sure the design is right architecturally, because it's the foundation of the system. So we'd like to make sure that that's part of the process, but then have partners do a lot of the work, and then they can follow on and do work for you afterwards, which I think is really interesting for a lot of customers. I think most of our customers in the utility space are struggling to staff projects. And so having a pool of resources available is really helpful. Yeah, go ahead.
When you put a defect in, you don't want to get caught with, oh, that's a software problem, oh, that's an interface problem, oh, that's a configuration problem. So all our partners, as Al is saying, it's the same process. Even though we may not be the one doing the implementation, their solution gets coordinated with SBS, and it comes to our CM system. So if you have a defect, it's the same response from SBS. If it's configuration, we fix it. If you have a problem, we'll fix it. So you're not going to get caught, which is always, I've had this couple of saying, they said, oh, go talk to that partner because they did the configuration, but we're over here with the software. The two work together, and that will continue. If you want to be a partner with SBS, you have to follow that rule.
This last bullet on the right, really, it's a condition of existence for us to have good projects. And if we're bringing in partners and you're bringing in partners, we have to figure out how we can make that work and have, at the end of it, have everybody happy. It's not none of these projects are easy, none. But at the same time, we have to figure out how to work together to expand the pool of resources. Talked a little bit about this. We're working on our products constantly. The release plan is constantly moving, and so Marty has spent a lot of time to tighten up that plan. The source of input comes from a lot of sources. It comes from you. I think Thursday is going to be a great day to collect input from you. It comes from projects. We have to go through and systematically evaluate and then plan the work for what comes in on the front end. And on the back end, we've got a lot of cross-functional people that spend time to make sure we're prioritizing correctly. And then Marty's working to make sure we deliver on time. So it's something we've been investing a lot in. We've got a DevOps process now, and so it's grown a lot, and we're continuing to invest in that space. The platform itself, it's not just about functions of the features of the product. There's a lot of platform type of work that we're doing to make sure that, things like toolkits and even our licensing approach, we're looking at those things. Some are well along the way in terms of what we're planning for improvements. Others we're just starting. And so we've got some big initiatives, but the idea of investing for growth, investing so that things roll out easier, and all of that is underway. And then last but not least, we're investing in the business. There's just, as we grow, we've got to do different things. So in the last 9 months, we've implemented a new ERP system. We've changed how we deal with some of the customer management systems. So we're trying to make sure that we're ready for growth. And some of those changes, we hope that you don't see those. If you do, let us know. Our goal is to make things, we want you in hindsight to say, yeah, that was easier than last time. My renewal process was easier. That's our goal, but we've got to work on the business as well as everything else so that as we grow, we can still be customer-centric and focused. And obviously, additional staffing and other things will add people as needed. So in conclusion, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of headwinds. There's a heck of a lot of work to do. And, I think we're in the boat with you. I think we've got partners, a bigger group of partners that is in the boat with us. And as we go, our view of the future is very bright. We're certainly excited about it. And certainly, I look forward to working with you, meeting you. I'll be around over the next couple of days. Would love to chat with you and get to know you and hear about your challenges.